Jeremiah from Phnom in Melbourne is making me a delightful beef stew, Vietnamese style.
Yes, you know, a really hearty stew that my mum used to make and really popular in Vietnam. So let's get started.
Sure, yep.
I've got some really beautiful chuck beef in here. You use a secondary cut like chuck or like gravy beef because we're going to cook it over time and we're going to give it lots of love and build a lot of flavour into
Yeah,
it.
so much flavour in here. You can see there's a little bit of fat there, long and slow.
Yeah.
This is
the
the
fat
great...
will break down, the sinew will break down,
Yeah.
and we've got really nice flavours. So I'm going to do this, but can you give me a hand? Would you mind just bruising, bashing that up a bit?
Yes. How much? About up to there?
Yeah, about there, and then we just bruise all that. So by doing that, we're releasing the flavours. I'm going to seal the beef first.
Okay.
And then we're going to marinate it.
All right.
Yeah, so releasing all those flavours, I'm just going to put this beef in here and we're just going to seal them a little bit. And then what we're going to do is put some marinade in it. So notice how I've got really nice chunks because I've got really meaty bits when I'm eating it. All I'm doing is just sealing it. I'm just getting a little bit of colour. And then when I'm braising, it's going to do the rest of the work. Do you mind just putting that in the bowl for me?
Yeah, can
so
do.
Beautiful lemongrass flavour. I've got some really nice aromatic sort of five spice in here. I've got some fish sauce or nuoc mam in here.
Yep.
Because that's the life and soul of all Vietnamese cooking.
Sure is.
Sugar.
Yep.
In there.
Are you going to be searing off the meat first and then popping it in a marinade?
Correct. What I'm doing is I'm just getting all the flavours in the beef.
Yep.
This marinade then will sit in the beef and sort of slowly penetrate in.
Oh,
I normally leave this to marinate for maybe about 3 hours if I can,
Yeah.
but best if I can just put it in the fridge overnight, that'd be the best way to do it. So we're building flavours. We're getting flavours into the meat and then we'll build some more flavours in the stew as well.
Even searing off the meat right now, that is already starting the build of flavours.
Correct.
Just you're sealing in all the goodness, really.
Yeah, correct. So while I'm doing this, if you can just help me sort of get the base of the braising together, that'd be amazing.
Yep.
So if we can just chop this up, sort of like the white part, we want to use the white part where all the flavours are.
Okay.
So if you can just roughly mince that up for me.
Yep.
That ginger will just bruise. And then the garlic just mince. Just with this beef, I'm just going to take it out now. I just want a little bit of colour. And then what I'm going to do is just going to toss this in. And once you get that started, we'll start cooking, putting the braise together.
Okay.
And this is my favourite, you know, it cooks for a couple of hours, all the star anise, all the really lemongrassy flavours start coming out. My kids love this.
Do they?
It's
They love
easy.
it,
Yeah. So I've got this pot on here. I've got it on high heat. I'm just going to add a bit of oil to it.
Yep.
And then for all the amazing work that you've done here,
Yep.
I'm just going to seal that if I may.
Yes.
So all that lemongrass is going to go in. Yeah, if you can, that'd be great.
There we go.
There you go, thank you.
So nice, deep, heavy based or big pot to
Yeah,
this.
a big pot, and make sure that the pot's big enough that we can put all our protein in there.
Yeah.
And what I'm doing in here, in that oil, I'm just releasing some of the flavours in there. And then I'm going to add this back in. We'll cook it for a little bit. And this is when the tomato paste comes in, that richness, that depth in there. We're going to get beautiful beef broth in there, and then we'll spice it up with all this stuff over here.
Okay, so onion wedges, 1 onion,
Yep.
and loads of ginger. We're using the whole lot.
Yeah, we'll use the whole lot because it's really nice and deep, earthy flavours in there.
Yeah.
Just roughly slice it up.
Yep.
And then we'll put it in here as well.
It already smells so good. Lemongrass, it's one of the best things. I would
It
love
is.
to know how to grow lemongrass because it grows like a weed, doesn't it?
Yeah, look, in the right climate, they grow really well. We use it in seasoning and things and stir fries. So once this has been marinated for a few hours or overnight, if we can,
Yep.
what we'll do is we'll put it back in the pot, give it a bit stir. So you can really start smelling the star anise in there now, all the flavours in there. I think, you can put that in there.
go.
Beautiful, thank you so much. We'll cook this. If you can pass me the stock, if you don't mind, please.
Sure. So loads of stock for this.
Yep.
There we go.
Pour it in if you don't mind.
Okay.
There you go. And we make sure that we cover the meat. Wonderful.
Done.
And then I've got the tomato paste in here. We'll bring that in there.
Okay, that's also going to help thicken it too.
Correct. And that depth that we're talking about. And some more aromats and flavour in here. So what I'll do at this point is I'll bring it to the boil.
Yep.
And then once it comes to the boil, we'll just turn down, let it simmer. 2 to 3 hours, I think, until the meat gets a little bit soft and tender. And then we'll add onions in and carrots and just build that next layer into it. And it's going to be really delicious once we start dipping bread through it as well.
Oh, bread on top of it. Fantastic.
All right, so we've had this cooking for a couple of hours now. It's thickened up. All the aromas are coming through. So what I'm going to do now is just add in our potatoes.
Okay. So just little potatoes cut in half.
Yeah, just cut in half.
Yep.
Our onions can go in now as well. And then we're nearly done.
Oh.
This in, and then I'll put the carrots in.
Yeah.
So just in like so. I'm just going to close the lid again. And then about 15 minutes or so, that should be really nice and soft and ready to go.
Gee, it smells good in here.
It's smelling great in here, isn't it? This is the final step, a little garnish like I like to do. I've got some onions I'm going to slice, some spring onions. Don't mind picking that Thai basil for me.
Can do.
So, you know, we've got star anise in there. We've got cassia. We've got Thai basil. Thai basil has a anise flavour as well. We're tying all our flavours in.
Yeah, absolutely. What's Vietnamese cuisine without that little garnish of fresh onion, fresh herbs?
Correct.
I think that's why it is just so popular, because it is fresh.
Yeah.
You can have something so hearty, but then freshen it up at the end.
We've got a stew that's quite hearty, right? And that's quite rich.
Yep.
But then we're going to freshen up with a little bit of salad just to break through all that heaviness, all that full-on flavours.
Yeah, yeah.
So I've got this in here, like this.
Very nice. Does this go into that one
Yes,
too?
please.
Okay, sprinkle that in. So two
right.
types of onion.
Yes.
I guess they're different. One's more intense.
So, and the
one's
brown onion is quite
milder.
sweet as well, right?
Yeah,
So you got that
yeah.
little bit of sweetness, you got a little star anise. We'll just mix all that up there like so. And then, let's go. Come,
also-
let's check this out.
Come, I'm coming.
There we go.
Oh, yes.
So the stew is all ready, all the spices, the meat is really nice and tender now.
And the sauce is thickened up. We didn't add any flour
Flour, no.
whatsoever. It's the potatoes
Yep.
and we've got that tomato paste.
Correct, and cooking over that time.
Yep. Yep.
Here we go.
Look at that nice big chunks of beef there.
We don't have to go searching, do we?
Nope.
So that in there.
Love that.
And then how I'd have this is with really nice, generous sort of herbs and things on here like so. And you know the best is when my son and I sit down, we bake a bit of bread in and we start dipping all the way through that. And then the next day it reduces down a little bit more.
Yep.
And then we'll have some steamed rice and then we'll add the stew to the steamed rice as well.
It's like a gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah, so you just keep going and going.
All right, let's do this.
All right, tell me what you think, hey?
Sauce.
But can I just show you something? Look at this, how tender this meat is. It's falling apart. All the flavour in there.
Yep.
With a baguette, it is perfect.
I love that. I love this type of food. Winter, a rich, deep stew full of flavour. You can taste those spices. And then that pop of freshness at the end with all the herbs and that raw onion is just an absolute delight.
And you know what? This is my favourite thing is?
Yeah.
It's just a few little things that you've got to do to
Yep.
prep it. And
Yep.
then you just leave it on the stove and the stove looks after
Yeah,
it.
an absolute delight. Thank you.
Awesome, amazing.